Now to the Middle East, a moment of silence marking 1 year since October 7th. Israel is now engaged on multiple fronts, intensifying attacks in Gaza and in Lebanon, and the region bracing this morning for a possible Israeli strike on Iran. ABC's Matt Gutman has the latest.
This morning, as Israel marks October 7th, the multiple conflicts triggered by Hamas's rampage are escalating. Overnight, the IDF saying they attacked Hezbollah munitions warehouses in Beirut, igniting those fireworks-like secondary explosions. And in Gaza, Israel renewing its ground operations in the north for the third time. Airstrikes hitting a mosque and a school in a designated safer zone. The IDF saying they targeted Hamas command posts. 26 people killed, according to the Hamas-run Ministry of Health, which also says about 42,000 Palestinians have been killed since this war began. And overnight in Israel, hundreds gathering at the site of the Nova Music Festival to mark the moment the massacre started there. It was early morning October 7th when Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel, killing about 1,200 people. Those harrowing videos showing mass abductions.
I'm reliving October 7th all the time. It's with me. I'm still in Gaza. I'm still with Keith and the girls and all the hostages.
Aviva Siegel and her husband Keith, who is an American, were among the more than 250 taken from Israel. She was released in a November ceasefire deal.
I nearly died. I'm lucky to be standing next to you, and I'm lucky that I got out. I'm lucky, but I'm the unluckiest person in earth because Keith is there.
What were your parting words to Keith?
I looked at him in the eyes and I said, Keith, you be strong for me and I'll be strong for you.
The memory's still fresh for those in Kibbutz Be'eri.
In homes like these, the walls are still scarred with those bullet holes. You can see the ceilings are charred from the fires and the grenades and the RPGs.
Yuval Haran's father was murdered at this house.
The terrorists, they brought a digger and they started breaking the window of the safe room.
7 of his family members taken. Thankfully, 6 were returned in that hostage deal, but his brother-in-law, Tal, is still there.
I want to remind people that we are about life, to remind people that when you saw hostages come back in the first deal, how happy you are. I want this happiness again. I don't want war. I just want my family back.
There are about 100 hostages still in Gaza. Israeli officials tell me they believe about 50 of them are still alive. And I sat down yesterday with U.S. Ambassador Jack Lew, who's been meeting with the families of those American hostages. And he says he'd like to give them some hope, but at this point he doesn't have any hope to give them about a ceasefire and hostage deal. Matt Gutman, ABC News, Kfar Aza, Israel.
And today, on the 1-year anniversary of the October 7th attack, Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell released a statement restating his support for Israel. In the statement, he writes, in part, the stakes of Israel's fight against the terrorists surrounding it are as clear today as they were 1 year ago. So are the obligations of free societies across the civilized world. The terrorists and their patrons seek not only to destroy Israel, but to challenge the very American-led order that preserves our way of life. McConnell goes on to say a future of peace in the Middle East must include a sovereign Israel. Now, here in Louisville, community members marked the day of the October 7th attacks with a memorial event Sunday at the Traeger Jewish Community Center, where hundreds met to honor the lives lost at the Nova Music Festival. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg attended yesterday's event, standing among those calling for greater support for Israel.
I am so proud to be with you here today. I am proud to be Jewish. And I am proud to support the state of Israel. Am Yisrael Chai.
Join us hopefully for a time when we don't have to hold events like this, because there is peace in that region and Jews are not being targeted either overseas or here in America.
More than 1,200 Israelis died on this day last year, with hundreds kidnapped.